Morning, folks. Mike the Ashamed Canadian here, and I was calling through YouTube this morning here, and this guy's name is Brian Dennison, an ex-cop. I forget where he's from. I forget what police force he worked for, but the message that this guy is giving to the police right now is something that I've been saying for almost 40 years. So let's just get right into this, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, for those watching this video, it is February 8th, and I am making this video to reach all police officers. So if you're watching this and you know a police officer out there, they need to listen. They need to know what's going on, and if they're not seeing what's happening out there, I'm here to fill them in. So if you can get this out to them, they need to listen. So first of all, I just want to say that I admire what you do as a police officer. I lived it for 24 years. It's something I always wanted to do when I was a kid, and I loved what I did. I loved helping people. I loved protecting those that needed protection, and I loved going every single day to be able to do that, risking my life for Canadians. And that's what you're being called to do today. There is an evil in this world right now, and there are things happening, and that you know deep down in your gut, in your soul, in your heart, that what is happening is wrong. You know that your police service and the government are actually providing unlawful orders to you to uphold. You know that. You can feel that, because I feel that. I am still a constable and will be forever, because that's what I'll do. I will continue to protect Canadians. And anybody else that comes into my life from outside of Canada, I'll be there for them as well. And you are exactly the same as I am. So I'm calling on all of you police officers across Canada that are dealing with any of these truckers or any of the protesters. They're not really protesters. They're trying to regain their freedoms back that have been taken away from them for the last 2 years. So, you police officers out there, you have families. You have wives, significant others, children. Do you want them to grow up not having what you had growing up? No freedoms to do what you want to do? Just the government and the police headquarters telling you everything that you have to do to put in your body? Is that what you want for your children? So when you're out there in the line and you're dealing with people who are just wanting to regain their freedoms back, time to have some humanity. Time to go against unlawful orders from your police chiefs, your hierarchy, even right down to the sergeant on the street. If he tells you to do something, and deep down you know that it's wrong, unlawful, and it goes against your morals and your core values, you are obliged to stand down. Obliged. That is your duty. Your duty is to uphold the law. Your duty is not to do what I have seen in some of these photos coming back from Ottawa. I was there. It was very peaceful. I walked around. I met a lot of policemen. I met a lot of truckers. What is happening now, what the police chief in Ottawa is doing, and the mayor, and Justin Trudeau, is outright criminal, what you guys are starting to do against those truckers, those peaceful demonstrators. Do not partake in that. That is not what you are. You have values that you hold dear to yourself, and the public holds you in high esteem. Do not throw that away by continuing to do any of these unlawful orders. Follow who you are. Do not follow leaders that are unlawfully telling you to do things. treat people with respect and dignity. Because you know what? They're fighting for you. They're fighting for your children. They're fighting for your children's children, your grandchildren, for the future generations. So as a police officer, do what you signed up to do. Protect Canadians. You can run into the bullets like you've always done. Here's the bullets coming at you. The bullets are unlawful orders. The bullets are bullying, intimidation by the government, by police leaders. Don't partake in that. Do not do it. You guys are better than that. Show who you really are. Police officers will shine in this country. You will be so highly respected if you get on the right side of history. And it's being written right now. So now is the time to make the choice. I've been saying this for months. Get off the fence. Do something. Speak up. Speak out. Please. Deep down in your soul, you know what's happening is wrong. Time to act. Be that person that you really are. You are there to protect and serve. Do that. Thank you.
So, we've been saying this for years and years and years. He says he's been saying it for months. We, the people, have been saying this for years and years, that the police have to start doing their job properly. That the stuff that they're doing is unlawful. Why does it take something like this and for cops to come out and actually start saying it before it's true? You know, we've been saying it. You search YouTube here, you know, you can go back as far as the early 2000s, 20 years ago, people putting out videos about cops and how corrupt they are. So this is not a new thing. Cops like this, when they see a large group, they're followers. We see this all the time. Cops are never leaders. They don't know how to be leaders. They're only followers, order followers. And we've seen this time and time and time and time again. Just remember that all those cops during the German occupation and the Nazis and that, during the Nuremberg trials, all those cops were prosecuted. Just remember that. All those media were prosecuted. Which brings me into the next clip that I'll be going into this video. So, again, we've been trying this for years. You guys want the targets off your back. Start standing up for the people. You know, we didn't put those targets on your back. You guys did by your qualified immunity and by your police unions. And you guys hiding behind them and saying that you didn't understand the law, or you didn't realize that you could do it, or you figured that qualified immunity or the police union would just get you out of it. That's not how you police. And just because you got guys like this right now telling you that this is not how you police, why does it take something like this to prove that you guys shouldn't be doing what you're doing? But no, you guys think that you're better than everybody else. We put a badge on you guys and guns, and we expect you to serve the public, to be there for the public. But you're not. And it's been proven time and time and time again that you guys are not there for the public. When so many cops are getting away with doing whatever they want, with complaint after complaint after complaint getting dismissed, saying that police were justified in doing what they were doing, or because of the statute of limitations that they can't be anything held against them. And, you know, we get the same old bullshit. And now you guys want our respect. Boy, this here, um, even if every cop were to stand up right now and start doing the right thing at this demonstration, this freedom demonstration, I don't even think that would be enough to get the targets off your backs. You guys have done considerable damage to the reputation of police. Now, you see people out there recording police all the time. Just search YouTube, as you can tell, and just search First Amendment audits or Cop Watch, and watch the amount that comes up, and watch the abuse that people go through because they have a camera. Well, the camera's been around since 1888. Why is it that it took until the 2000s for you guys to get scared of them? Was it because of the creation of YouTube and Facebook? How people were starting to put the videos of you, how corrupt you guys are? You know, a lot of this didn't come into the light until places like YouTube and Facebook and BitChute and Rumble and all these other places started popping up. And people started posting under the First Amendment in the States and under Section 2B of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada. They've been posting those interactions. And we see daily how police are constantly violating people's rights. And not just in the United States. It happens here in Canada on a daily basis. Look at just the other day. Cops taking gas cans off the backs of trucks. Like literally taking them off the backs of trucks. And saying that they had a right to do it. What happened? They had to give it all back. Because they didn't have the right to do it. Now, I figured they would have used all that fuel and put it in city vehicles or all the police vehicles or their personal vehicles. Because of storing such a vast amount of diesel fuel would be highly dangerous the way that they were doing it. They took it from all the different trucks and staging area and a tanker and everything, and they decided to take all that stuff and put it all into one area. Think about that, folks. One match and that whole area would have been leveled, but they didn't think about that. You know, yeah, you see gas cans all around, but you also see trucks all around. And they're literally taking them off the backs of trucks. That is theft. Caught right on video. And them saying that they can do it. Well, so it's cops like that that make it the targets put on their back. You know, their boss says to start confiscating jugs. So what do? They start confiscating jugs. And not just off the street, but off the backs of truckers' trucks. That is theft. Straight out. But none of these cops will be held accountable for what they just did. For stealing all that fuel and everything, none of these cops will be held accountable. Think about that. But if you or I were to do that, we would be in jail right now, waiting on a bail hearing. So, This is what the problem is. You guys want the respect. It's going to take a lot more than just what this guy's saying to get respect. It's a step in the right direction. But let's get one thing straight. I know of over 30 years of corruption alone within the Toronto Police, Hamilton Wentworth Regional Police, the Ottawa Police, the Kodiak RCMP. I know for a fact about the corruption there. I've been documenting it for years. Well, maybe you guys might want to go back and start looking at some of the videos that I put out that are on my channel. This has been a long fight, and these guys think that if they help out in this, that they're gonna get their reputation back as good guys. Well, it's a good start, but let's see how many of them actually do it. You might have a few that might want to show that they're good guys, like this one right here, this Brian Dennison. But let's see how many actually do it. Let's see how many of those cops in Ottawa refuse orders from their chief. The biggest terrorist right now in Canada, next to Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party and the RCMP, we have the next in line, the Chief of Police in Ottawa. Straight out terrorist. And I'll tell him that to his face. So I'm gonna put this up so that you guys can see this message that this cop is trying to get it put out. And who knows, maybe it might help in the right direction of getting the police to start doing their job properly. Let's see. Well, folks, I really love the way this lady talks to this CBC reporter and that. All I got to say is my hat's off to this lady. She is like one of my heroes, I guess, right now. So just listen. This lady is an ex-nurse. She lost her job because of this pandemic. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Don't beat yourself up.
So now that your job is done, do you actually believe the stuff that you say out of curiosity, or do you just kind of do the script that you're told to repeat? I'm just curious because you have destroyed my life, CBC. You write a lot of hit pieces about me. My family has been doxxed. I've received death threats. I have a 6-year-old son, a 3-year-old son. I come from a good family, and you've literally destroyed my life because I ask appropriate questions. I just want to know if you have children, if this is actually the world that you feel that, you want to raise kids in, that you think kids, should be living in, if this is the future for them. Like, you're young, you actually think this is appropriate? And do you actually believe the work that you do, or is it just a good paycheck? You? Like CBC has destroyed my life. Like, you should see the hit pieces, many of them that you guys have written about me. It's disgusting. I'm Kristen Nagel. I'm a nurse, and because of the hit pieces, you guys have totally ruined my career, and I've been fired because of it. People have doxed my address. People have given me death threats because of the lies that you guys spread and the way that you twist the truth. And I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and kids have never been happier than what has been created here. Why don't you show that truth? Do you see the smiles in the kids? Do you know what has been taken away from them these last 2 years? Do you know 6-year-olds have told me they wanted to cut themselves and kill themselves? Kids want to die because of the last 2 years. Why aren't you showing that? And now you're talking about kids' welfare safety? Now you think kids should be taken from their parents out of these trucks? You're working for welfare services?
What they're showing, they're like...
But you're repeating it. You're repeating it. And people are believing it. Why do you think there's people out here counter-protesting? Why do you think Winnipeg, someone drove down 4 protesters purposely and put them in critical care? Why do you think there's actually violence and hate happening? Do you know how divisive this is? Is this actually Canada? Do you know what you're reporting and what you're doing to the people out there? How does that make you feel? You're a young guy. This is not the world. This is not Canada. This is not the world I want my kids to live in. And you guys are a big part of what you're doing. It's not right, man. You gotta think about that. This is not right.
Your side there, totally.
My husband lost his job. He's a teacher. I was a nurse. Good people out there, that firefighter. Do you know how many nurses out there have lost jobs? How many teachers? How many firefighters? Like, just because of the jobs I just heard there recently, everyone has suffered. People have died because of this. It's not okay. Welfare? You're bringing up welfare services? You're talking about concerned about kids being with their family? Kids are with their families in these trucks. And they're laughing and they're dancing.
Oh, hey, Ryan.
You guys should be ashamed of yourselves for what you're doing.
Fun is illegal in Canada.
They have never been happier these 10 days than they have in the last 2 years. Do you know how many kids came up and said thank you? Do you actually even look at the notes that are stuck to every single truck from kids? Do you see the heart that comes out from them? Do you know how important this is for them?
Like I said there, like I totally get your side there.
Then why don't you report it? Why don't you guys report it?
Like I said,
Why don't you report the truth?
it's not in my power now. Sorry.
You allow it to happen. By being here, you allow it to happen.
Not even in my power.
Is this your job?
Well,
Is this your job to stand? So you consent. You consent. I took a choice as a nurse, and right away, as soon as this happened, I stood up and I lost my job for it. You being here a part of this, you're complicit. It means you consent to what is happening. It's just money. There's other jobs. There's other ways. There's other platforms. The longer you stay with this lie,
stay strong.
oh, I am strong. You have no idea. But you guys have to sleep at night and live with your conscience of what you're doing to Canada and the people here. I feel sorry for you. Shame on all of you. Shame on you. Sad, pathetic people. Bye! Alright. See? I held it in until the cameras are gone. But it's not okay. It's not okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Bringing in the kids, saying no.
This woman is a hero. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This woman's a hero. When you stand up against the government and you end up losing your job for it because you were standing up for the right thing, that's a hero. She worked in the front line. She knew what it was like out there. And she continued to be there for the people. And because she stood up for herself, she got fired for it. And mainstream media really attacked this woman badly, especially CBC. So I know that if that was me, and CBC did something like that to me, I wouldn't have been as nice. It would have been a mob mentality around there, and I probably would have even got charged with inciting a riot. But that's what it takes because of this mainstream media bullshit, spreading lies about people, you know, ruining people's and families' lives. A school teacher and a nurse. Their lives are ruined because of this pandemic, because of these fake mandates. And they're all just, we knew that they were temporary. So how they could force something permanent into people over a temporary situation is way beyond me. So they're using the fact that so many people around the world has now got the Kool-Aid for these butterflies and unicorns that are going around, that the world's starting to open up. Well, it shouldn't have been closed. There was no way in hell that the government should have had the overreach that they had and done what they'd done through this whole pandemic. As far as I'm concerned, it's a scamdemic. And this is the top people in this that have really made out are people like the US government, the Canadian government, and these elite people that are sitting in power. And let me tell you how. So, we have this pandemic that's been going around for the last 2 years. There's 4, maybe 5 companies in the world that make some Kool-Aid for these. So you got 4 or 5 companies that are making this for the world. And now to make sure that, because they got stocks, that they buy stocks and shares into these companies, they now mandate it for people to get this shot. Well, that means that billions of this has got to be made. That makes it, because it's in such demand, that the stocks go through the roof. And they're forcing this on people, saying you have to get it, or you can't do this, you have to get it, or you can't do that, you can't work, you can't go grocery shopping, you can't go to a theater, you can't go to a hockey game. You know, one of the most Canadian things in Canada is going to a hockey game. And the Canadian government took that away from us for almost 2 years. That's like un-Canadian. Absolutely un-Canadian. But, you know, that little temporary security so that they could get the stock prices up. Now, you look at the US, for instance. 3 of the top 10 stocks that they own is Google, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. Don't believe me? Check it out. The information's out there, folks. You know, I've been trying to tell you guys is to do your homework, to do some research, that the information's out there. If a guy like me, some small guy that's got less than 800 subscribers on a YouTube channel, can go out and find this information, then anybody can find it. The information's there, folks. Just read it. Mainstream media twist everything one way, but look at the real numbers. Look at the numbers that they're not even showing you. And then tell me, who is making money at this? Because in the long run, this is all it came down to, was the almighty dollar. Yeah, Dr. Fossey started this shit by funding it. And yes, he lied to Congress about it. He's been caught in, 5 felonies on camera. And that nothing happens to him. If we give a cop the wrong name, we're held to the fullest extent of the law. But you got guys like Dr. Fossey and Dr. Teresa Tam spreading all this bullshit. And what happened? It took a group of truckers and a small fringe minority of truckers to take a stand. Now, that's according to Justin Trudeau, that they were a small fringe minority group. But as you can tell, I've been posting videos like crazy from coast to coast, what's going on. And it's not a small fringe minority. It's not even 100,000 or 250,000. We're talking millions and millions of people across this great nation coming together and, you know, we're showing love, unity, respect for one another, respect for the city that the truckers have taken over. You know, they're out there shoveling the snow, salting the sidewalks, making sure that all the garbage is cleaned up. The city has never been cleaner. And as for these so-called business owners that are in the downtown core that are complaining, those are people like lawyers and very well-to-do upper-class businesses. A lot of it in the downtown core is government-related. Businesses in general. There's YouTubers that are out there that are actually going into stores and that and showing what it's like, and just showing what it's like outside of stores and that, showing how busy it is, and showing people cooperating and getting what they need. Look at all the food and donations that were brought down there so far to date, where they're actually feeding the homeless or anybody who needs it. Where do you think all that food came from? It came from the shelves of your local supermarkets and grocery stores in your area. People spending money in your stores, in your area, to help generate business in that area. I believe that's how a good community grows, is when people start spending money. At least the economic side of it, when I was in school, sort of tilted towards that way. So for them to say that that the business owners and that are complaining, the only thing that they've been complaining about lately is the fact that they miss this type of business. You know, over the last 12 days, they've made more in profits than they have in the last 2 years. So, when you're able to do that much business, you actually start making profit. But when you're closed down half the time, restricted access, and stuff like that, your business is cut in half, and you're not making nearly any profit because of your overhead. You still have to pay your property taxes, your business taxes. So there's still money that's being that has to go out, or you'll lose your business, even though the government is closing you down half the time. But you are forced to pay those, or you will lose your business. So, and this is why so many businesses have been hurt and closed, because of restrictions. So my hat's off to this lady right here, and I hope that we can end all of this tyranny very soon. As of today, there is no more vaccine passport mandates in Alberta. As of February 14th, the same thing will happen in Saskatchewan, and on March 1st or February 28th, all mask mandates will be lifted in those two provinces also. So let's see if the rest of Canada will follow. I've been documenting it down here in New Brunswick and how bad it is down here to try and travel or anything. So I will be going out here soon and trying to get some reaction to what's going on from the people here in St. John. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, folks, and I will see you in the chats.